Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is out on May 5th, and shut up, what about Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Well, we have news on that. James Gunn himself, who...
It's so intense, I love that.
I just got back after several days off. I'm really excited.
Nice.
So Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is out very soon on May 5th. A lot of people have seen it already and are saying good things, which sounds good to me.
Yeah.
But we're already wondering what's going to happen with Guardians 3, which is not really a question that has been asked for the other Marvel pantheon of films. No one was freaking out about Thor 3.
Right.
You know, but then they were like, hey, that's cool. But not around the time we were looking at Thor 2, or Thor the Dark World. So James Gunn is addressing this to his fans directly, hopefully, on Facebook. I feel like we've done a few of these where he directed something at the fans from his Facebook, talking about whether or not he would do it. Here's what he said. So yes, I'm returning to write and direct Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. In the end, my love for Rocket, Groot, Gamora, Star-Lord, Yondu, Mantis, Drax, and Nebula, and some of the other forthcoming heroes goes deeper than you guys could possibly imagine. And I feel they have more adventures to go on and things to learn about themselves and the wonderful and sometimes terrifying universe we all inhabit. And like in both Volume 1 and Volume 2, we will work on creating the story that goes beyond what you expect. I mean, I think when this first started, no one really had expectations for him.
Yeah.
And now that it's like possibly the best Marvel movie.
No one had, yes, it is definitely the most different.
Well, yeah, but
I guess they tried that with Ant-Man, and Ant-Man was fine.
I didn't like
but
Ant-Man
it still
as
got
much.
folded. It seemed like it got more obviously folded into the Avengers franchise. When you said like there's not as much anticipation for a third in a series of the other Marvel movies as there is for this one, I think it's because this one has so much of its own identity, and the other ones you are already expecting it to be folded into someone else's movie.
Yeah.
And this one, it was so refreshing. It was it is also super impressive. I guess already like Iron Man was less expected to be a giant franchise than say like Spider-Man and Batman get to be. And it was impressive when they took what you wouldn't expect and made it into like this giant franchise for the populace. But
well, it's like also, if you've looked at the new Thor
Ragnarok
trailer, it looks a lot like Guardians.
Right, and I think I'm fine with it. I turned into such like a Marvelist over a Marveler over like a DC thing. And I didn't have that in me before. And it's not just because Marvel paid me to do stuff. It's just because
right, they did.
It was so
I forgot about that.
It was so impressive. Look, because right before that all happened, look at what you had. You had a bunch of, they were scraping what seemed to be the bottom of the barrel in terms of like, they had done so many Batman movies and Spider-Man movies, and then they started picking around for like, they did things that the general, because I worked in like a Hollywood talent agency and not like a comic book store. So it was like, oh, they're making like a Punisher movie, and then we're like doing a Green Lantern movie, and they didn't really understand the appeal of the individual franchises and their voices, and they were just kind of paint by numbersing. They're like, this is a superhero, so it should get this treatment. And they lost touch. And they have fully been able to create that world of, that feeling in general moviegoers that like a comic book person would expect, being able to buy a bunch of different, follow different storylines of their favorite characters. And it's so impressive. And DC just now said, we give up, and they hired Joss Whedon to do Batgirl.
I have something to say on that on the converse side.
All right.
I think that's what happened, or I don't really understand the impact of this character. This is a superhero movie, let's give the superhero treatment. That's what I thought Marvel did with Iron Fist, because I found it aggressively boring.
Really?
And it was because it just didn't feel true to the characters. It didn't feel like something that said anything new, or something that hasn't really been said in other superhero movies. And I do have high hopes for Wonder Woman. So we'll see. I hope it turns out well. But speaking of the larger universe and how it all connects, Much of what's happening in the MCU for the past 10 or so years has been leading in a big way to the Avengers Infinity War. Yes, that's true. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will happen after all that. It will conclude the story of this iteration of the Guardians of the Galaxy and help catapult both old and new Marvel characters into the next 10 years and beyond. I will be working side by side with Kevin Feige and the gang to help design where these stories go and make sure the future of the Marvel Cosmic Universe is as special and authentic and magical as what we have created so far. So this does a few things. One, this is gonna go on forever because he said this iteration, 10 years from now, the next set, the cosmic universe, as it goes on and on and on and on. But it also says, if you like James Gunn, which many people seem to now, then you will like what's next, maybe?
Yeah, I think you will. I don't know how they're gonna hit reset. I have zero idea how they're gonna do that because it all has been leading to Infinity War. And
it has.
Like what are they, I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm looking forward to it, but even if it fails miserably, I'm pretty grateful for the last decade of film.
All those like after credit scenes with like Thanos, and then we have one of the gems in each, not each movie, but across several movies. They've been pushing toward this, and if this ain't good, we're gonna feel like that decade was leading up to nothing.
Leading up to nothing, but I really had a lot of fun along the way. Like there were enough times I was like, that was funny. Which if you look at the DC movies, you're like, I'm just waiting for something rewarding to happen at all.
What is this, some kind of Suicide Squad?
Oh God. It's like Batman's versus Superman over here. What are you, some kind of Wonder Woman?
No one said that yet, but they very well could.
But if it happened, it's like, what are we, some kind of Guardians of the Galaxy? Like it would be funny.
Did they say that? I don't think so.
But if they did, it would be done in a way that realizes how ridiculous that is.
I get really excited when they say the name of the show.
Yeah, title lines. I keep having this idea that I'm sure someone else has done, which is fake title lines in movies. I know that video's out there somewhere. But
or like they didn't know what the title was gonna be, so they did it several times.
Yeah, or just like pretending it was in the movie. Like you just were like, I was the guy. I think someone did it out there where they had the title line. It's a joke in some movie where it's like, what is this, some kind of Shawshank Redemption?
Okay, I need you to make that.
Yeah.
And then that'll be the follow-up to this video. Even though it doesn't seem connected, it's all connected because the gem he had here showed up later and it was powerful. Audience, are you looking forward already to Guardians Volume 3? It's ahead. I hope I don't get sick of this style because it seems like this style is coming at us in full force. Please let us know what you think below and please like and subscribe for more.